Okay, happy Monday. We have some pretty interesting price action here, so we will just zoom. Let's take a look out here for a little bit. Kind of look at our overall picture here. It was some time ago when we were in here. I drew out a trading plan here. And I said at this point, if we were to, claim this area here, we can see some degree of continuation, which we did. Otherwise, I said if we do get this move down, that these two areas would be my next to look for some degree of a long setup. And I said I wouldn't hold my breath here. This doesn't feel like it would be a really strong area of support. And in fact, we ended up getting a channel here that in the Discord we traded very, very successfully. I think we got like 5 or 6 successful longs and shorts out of that. So it was really, really awesome. And then I said down here is really where I would like to see some degree of a reversal. Okay. We had this untapped monthly level, the range value area low. And what ended up happening is really, really, really interesting. So we got this move down on Friday. We sort of ranged over the weekend and put in these new lows over the weekend, which meant that they weren't on the CME chart. So on Sunday in the afternoon, I went on the Discord and I said, I'm going to wait for CME open and I want to see these lows taken out before I start to take any trades. And what ended up happening is into the weekly and daily close for Sunday, we dumped. And in fact, wound up closing the weekly below the range value area low and this monthly level that we held as support all weekend. So this was super, super bearish of a move. Okay. Super, super bearish. Now in bigger context, we had we have negative funding rates. And then 2, what else did we see happen? Meanwhile, and I posted this in the Discord as well. We're seeing a swing failure pattern of the high where we failed to take it out here, swing failure here on DXY, right? And we know that DXY works inversely with ES1 and Bitcoin. And then we go over to ES1 and we see we're finding support at our key level here that we had drawn out from over a month ago, that we said maybe we can see some degree of a bounce here, in possibly a back test of this weekly level once again, right? So if we're looking at kind of all of these things in the bigger picture, this move felt too bearish. It felt too rushed, especially to be doing it into the weekly close. The hour of weekly close, we get this massive move down, right, to close below that level. So it felt like a bear trap, and especially too, and I've posted this setup in the Discord many times, where we have, our initial low, we take out that low, we put in some degree of a range, and then we have a failed auction, and then market structure change, right? So if we just draw this out. So we have our initial low, okay, take out that low, have a failed auction, and then we have market structure change for, some degree of a reversal upwards. Okay, so that ultimately is really what we saw here, and we saw this really interesting price action here for a bear trap. High volume breakdown of the levels, low volume back test, making it look like we'll see something like this, and ultimately what ended up happening is we got our short squeeze, right? So this was really, really cool. I did take some longs on Ethereum when we were in this area here. And that just played out really, really nice. Such a cool move to see. And now in the meantime, like, what can we look forward to is one thing that really bothered me about this range here is that this high never got taken out. Okay, and this one here. So we put in this range, we put in this high here, took out that high, and then when it came time to do so again, we failed to do so. And a lot of people were looking for us to get some sort of a squeeze upwards and maybe take out some of the stops up here or here. And what I would really, in a perfect world, what I would love to see, ultimately we'll be looking at this range point of control as our first area of resistance here, right? We can see it with support here and support here, and now we can do some degree of a back test before continuing downwards, and that's at about 21.2k. If price is able to break through here, in a perfect world, what I would love to see is some degree of a swing failure where we take out these highs and then have continuation downwards. So ultimately short squeeze up higher, do a stop hunt, then get some degree of a reversal, right? But first, we're gonna have to take a look at the reaction at this range point of control as well. And I'm just curious, let's take a, let's just see where our 618 is. Yeah, on the 618, it's kind of around there. So we can sort of look at this area, you know, as a zone that will act as resistance. And, you know, that's also the bottom of our channel here that we broke down through, okay? So don't feel FOMO on longs. If we continue to pump from here, don't feel like you're missing out. Don't try to be a late longer, okay? With the way that it looks right now, I would say that the short will end up being more epic than the long. So let it ride out. Let's look for some degree of a short setup here. If you want to be aggressive and do get into some longs, wait for something of a higher low before doing so. You know, you don't want to just keep longing a pump when it can have some degree of a back test here. And then overall, with this said here, this you know, looking at this point of control and this swing failure here, you know, and one last thing too, if by some miracle, and we almost shouldn't even talk about this because we're all the way down here, I would say this is the do not pass line. If price does go any higher than this, instead of just swing failuring here, but actually does have some degree of continuation for just what would be a massive short squeeze, I wouldn't expect price to break through this 23.2K area. You know, it's still, I'm going to take it off the chart because it's so far away and we have many other levels we can look at first, but it's just something to keep in mind. And, you know, overall, let's just go like this here. Overall, we're still looking at, you know, what we've been looking at for a very long time, right? And that is our reverse impulse wave. Let's see here. Looking to put in that, you know, that wave 5 ultimately, you know, and like I said, leading up to this Mt. Gox thing and all this FUD and news and just the market or the chart just looking terrible, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we simply came down here and swing failure the low, you know, and then had some degree of a reversal upwards. So we'll keep an eye on it. Like I had said, using Elliott wave theory, we should get the move below here sometime before the first week in November. So likely looking sometime in October that we'll see that move there. So there is plenty of time, you know, between here and now for moves up and then, you know, further moves down and things like that. So we'll just have to be patient and wait to see how this all plays out.